you can sit for days and days and days and try to figure out whether or not you're doing the right thing and whether or not, you have a good plan or something. And you won't ever have that. You can try to sit for days and days and days and weeks and months and try to come across this perfect feeling that you want with a perfect sense of self and identity and thought, and try to have it all come together in one moment, all of a sudden, magically. Yet that moment's never going to come. Because honestly, like, what matters more is that you're putting in the work into every single lever that's required. Like, for example, like, building a business has really allowed me to see how, like, it's just about coming up with a clear plan, and then on every given day, like on a daily basis, you just choose 2 to 3 things that are the most important things for you to work on any given day, given the goals that you want to achieve, like either short-term or long-term. You figure out what those things are that you have to work on any given day, and just work on those things. Because trying to do 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 things in a given day, all that is doing is just keeping you busy and not helping you do anything. That's why the most important thing is honestly to just focus on 2 to 3 things that move the needle forward. Because I know, like, how it feels to think like, oh, I'm just doing 2 to 3 things in a given day, I'm not getting a lot of work done, I'm not reaching my goals fast enough. It's not about that. It's about being excellent at the things that you are, achieving and stuff, you know what I mean? So really what it comes down to is just not spreading yourself thin, and honestly, like, just knowing that, like, you don't need to stress yourself out, because it's just being intentional about every single, like, thing that you have to do, right? So, like, for example, like, on any given day, like, exercise, right? If you have a 9 to 5, work your 9 to 5. Other than that, it's just for your business, for example, like, what do you need to do today? Do you have to create content, or do you have to network, or do you have to work on an offer? And then just do that, and that's it. Like, for example, those should be like the 3 maximum things if you have to, like, work on that on any given day. Or, like, do you have to, like, work on, like, creating a community for your audience or something? Or do you have to, like, work on, like, a newsletter article or something like that? But trying to do, like, create an offer. Like, you wake up, you go to the gym or whatever. After that, you try to create an offer, you try to create LinkedIn content, you try to create, an article for your newsletter. And then you, like, work on, like, another offer, not for your business, but for your newsletter now. And then you try to, like, work on a community, right? And then you try to, like, research your industries. Like, doing all that in a given day, that's just not hitting on anything. Like, you're just working on one thing for an hour, you barely get anything done for that one thing, and the next thing, you just work on that one thing for an hour because you have to try to get through a to-do list, right? And that really doesn't do anything, you know what I mean? Like, rather, as, like, if you just do one thing, for example, like, let's just say that you have a business, a ghostwriting business, for example, I don't know, whatever it is, a business, and then you have a newsletter besides that business. And let's just say that, like, you just focus on creating a really good article that day. You don't even have to finish it, but you have a lot of momentum with that article. And then you, like, after that, like, you work on an offer for your business. And that's it. And then you just do, like, some networking after that. 2 to 3 things is better, because when you're focusing on one thing specifically, like, you create so much momentum when doing that one thing that, like, the results from that, from being really intentional and putting in, like, a lot of momentum into that one thing, 1 or 2 things in a day, the results that can come from that maybe it won't come, like, today or something, But like when you post that article, for example, like that article is going to be so good that when you post it, you're probably going to get really, really good engagement or something. Or maybe you'll get a client from that post or something, you know?
What can I help you?
Hi, can I just do a large iced caramel coffee?
Large iced caramel coffee, how do you like it?
Just caramel and cream.
Sweet caramel you want?
Yeah, caramel and cream.
Okay, something else?
And can I do light ice, please, in that?
Okay.
Can you actually do extra caramel in there?
Okay.
And can you not make it too light, please? Like not too light, not too much cream or milk or anything.
Okay.
And it's a little strong is what I mean, and that's it.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
All right, thank you. I like my coffees particular, or I order them specific. But yeah, I mean, like, this is something that like I've gone through like a long period of time where like I've tried to really like understand that like when I'm thinking about these things, it's not wasting time, because yes, you should be intentional with your business. Like you should be thinking about your business, not obsessing over it to the point where like, oh my gosh, but like you want to get to a point where you understand like why you're moving a certain way with something and like why you're being intentional in the first place. When you're building a business, you want to build that business that in a way that it really helps somebody, and like not in a way that like you're just spreading yourself thin and like you're not doing anything for anyone. So like, for example, something I've had to get over is like not worrying about spreading myself thin, because when I work on 1 or 2 things or 3 things max in a given day, I can pack a greater punch like that, so I can help more people. And the things that I'm creating and stuff that I'm doing online with the business, like it just packs a greater punch, it has more value. And that doesn't necessarily mean, so I've had to like wrap my head around like that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not getting a lot done, because in terms of value and quality, I am getting a lot done. Like I am packing a greater punch that way. Because it's not about the number of things. Like there's so many people online that say it's about the number of things. No, it's not about the number of things. It's about how much like quality you put out in terms of like, like the content that you're doing, the offers, like how much of a valuable conversation you're having while you're networking like with someone. Like, is the conversation just surface level because you're trying to send 20, 30 DMs in a day, and like the conversation, like people can tell that when you reach out to them, you just want to sell to them and that's it? Or like, are you actually just doing like 10 really good conversations? You're initiating 10 really good conversations in a given day, but those conversations are really good because first of all, you're approaching that person with value. You're approaching that person with like, like a good amount of, like intention is what I'm trying to say. So, that's what matters the most. You know what I mean? Like, I know how it might feel like if you're not getting results or something, like right now, right? Hold on. All right. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thanks. So I know how it might feel like if you're not getting results or something in your business, like it might feel like, oh my gosh, like what's the point? Like nothing's working or anything. But guys, like I've been there. Because it's like you want to get a client, right? Like you want to get a client and you want to, whatever you call it, like I think it's that way. One sec. I think it's this way. So I know how it might feel, right? Like you want to get clients, you want to build this really great thing and stuff like that. You want some momentum and stuff like that, and it would be nice if you could have that overnight. But like really, it's not about like being realistic. It's about genuinely being grounded in the fact that like what you build It should be good. It should be good, not perfect, because you have to just do things, right? You just have to do them. But it's not about just doing a lot of things. It's about just doing the couple of things that will push the needle forward for you. You know what I mean? So yeah. Just focus like on that, right? Like just focus on like doing a couple of things that are just really good things. But yeah, I know how it might feel like if you aren't getting that much results or whatever, you feel like you have to do like scramble and do like a lot of things. Like trust me, I've been there. But I've been realizing lately, like it's more about just like focusing on like the 1 to 2 or 3 things that just push the needle forward, right? So just do that. Don't spread yourself thin. Come up with a clear plan, and really that's all. That's all you really have to do. And yeah, so you guys got this. If you want me to post some content and stuff about business more often, let me know, and I'll do that. See you guys later.